Arcade Heroes.
Hey everyone, this is Adam with exA-Arcadia.com, and I'm here for another unboxing of an arcade game, although this one obviously isn't quite the same as a full-blown arcade cabinet, and that's because this is a game for the exA-Arcadia. And which game that is would be Blazing Chrome AC by Joy Masher, and I guess I should remove this first. By Joy Masher and exA-Arcadia. So, okay, get that out of the way. This came all the way from Japan. Just arrived. Plenty of bubble wrap. So no need for me to really speed this up, I guess, since it won't take me 3, 4, 5 hours to unpack this. But there you go, Blazing Chrome AC, exA-013 for the game ID. So the last game that I had received was Gimmick, Exact Mix. And I guess kind of on a whim I decided to get this just because I figured something like Contra would be a good fit for my arcade. Here's our artwork. Set the tube to the side. And the game cartridge should be in there. So these, all the games come with artwork that's often in Japanese and English, or like the instruction cards that's in both Japanese, as this one is here, or English. And interestingly enough, the controls are a little different depending on which character you pick. And I believe this Zaku character is unique to the arcade version. Maybe not 100% sure about that. I'd have to look it up again, but I know there's one character that was added to this version that's not found on like the Switch version, and a couple of other differences like that. Okay, there's just the single poster here. And got my game cartridge safely tucked away in there. So this one doesn't have any special colors on it. Some of them do, like my Gimmick cartridge was green. The Akam Blue Type R was red and blue. And I think Vritra was kind of a light blue as well. But yeah, so that's the exA-Arcadia unboxing of Blazing Chrome. Far easier for me to handle than a full-blown cabinet. And see if I can get this all in the frame there, but something for me to frame up and put in the store. So it's always nice that they send artwork like that along. But let's go throw this into the exa. I'm gonna swap out one of my other games that hasn't been getting a lot of love, and we'll then see how this plays. Oh, so one thing I didn't catch is behind the poster here is the installation guide instructions. So I mean, it is pretty straightforward if you already know what you're doing there, and even if you don't, it's pretty easy to figure out. But it has the game settings showing what the defaults are and what else you can do, including monitor effects and language options and coin settings, all that stuff. And so I guess one thing to note is I think this might be the only exa game so far that has Brazilian Portuguese, and that's because Joy Masher, they are Brazilian, and so it makes sense for them to include their native tongue in there, something that I even speak. But yeah, so that's that, and we'll get to the game now. Alright, so just getting access to my exa here. Need to turn this off, of course. So the one I'm going to replace it with is, or I'm going to swap out Lightning Knights. So the reason why is I think that Lightning Knights will do better in a 4-player cabinet, which, oops, I put that in backwards. There we go. All the way in. Good to go. And so, yeah, once I get a 4-player cabinet, then I'm sure Lightning Knights will do much better than it has been. It's been doing okay, but figure we'll see how it goes. And that's, of course, the nice thing. You can always just keep swapping stuff out as you need to. But let's fire Blazing Chrome up and see how it is. First boot for this to include the Blazing Chrome. So same music and video style as the game trailer there. But let me see if I can get some direct capture footage of this, and then we'll go from there. Also see if I can get my voice commentary on that with my little microphone or not. So this works just fine with my capture device. I should say that this was not the first time that I played the game. I had a couple of other run-throughs, but they weren't the best. But this one seemed decent enough, and so that's what I'll show you. Now, one thing that I activated through the operator menu were the scan lines, which you can see. And so there's the regular filter, well, no filter, which just shows the pixels as they were originally drawn. There's CRT-A, which is what this is, and you can even see on the corners that they're little rounded out, almost like a CRT. I guess I should mention while it's on this sequence that there are the 5 characters to choose from, and as it showed on the instructions sheet, that the controls will vary between which character you're using. And so I think that there's 3 melee ones. I'm actually not at the location right now while I'm recording this, so I can't run over and double check. But if you want the Contra style, there's this character and another one that have the shooting, but they all have melee attacks like I just showed there. Back to the filters, CRT-B is interesting because it has a kind of a flicker effect, although I don't know that I ever really came across that or have come across that over the years on my CRTs, but it still looks kind of cool. And then there's a smoothed out filter that's typical to find on MAME and certain emulation compilations. But I figured, what the heck, we'll just go with the scan lines on this. You can choose which stage you want to go to, which is cool. So I guess if you get tired of going through mission 1 to begin with, if you learn it a lot, then you can go ahead and just skip ahead to the other missions. Nice touch there. And the art style, as it is reminiscent of Contra 3 Alien Wars. So I grabbed that on my Switch. Maybe it was my Wii U. I can't remember anymore, but at least with the red scenes in the background. But that's one thing I really liked about this overall, was just how it has that look and feel of a game from the early 90s on the SNES or the Genesis. And so they really captured that. And it was mentioned to me by Showtime when I asked about this, because I mentioned, it's like, man, the animations on this are really good. I haven't played the console version of Blazing Chrome. It is available on the Switch. I think it might be on the PC. And I just didn't get around to grabbing that. But he mentioned that they did further improve some of the animations and art style as well. And so I'm assuming that if any of you out there have this on consoles, you'll catch those little changes, little details. This definitely was one of my better run-throughs. I won't talk the whole time. One thing I did learn afterwards is down there that power-up that was the speed bot is useful for an instance that's coming up here. The attack bot obviously helps you get some extra firepower. And this part right here I've just not been very good at because my timing was off on avoiding those shots. But of course if you fall down, you die. The grenade one, I really enjoy that one. But the speed bot is how you get this one up here, because when you have that, it allows you to double jump. So if you don't have the speed bot power up, then you can't do that. Of course, if you died when you were trying to get up there, that wouldn't work either. Now, this is actually a mid-level boss as opposed to a final boss. But it's helpful if you have one of the extra powered-up weapons, especially the grenade on him. Otherwise you have to do a lot of jumping and shooting to get there. But between this and the final boss, again, I think this is a fantastic game, and it's so nice to have something like Contra in arcades again. The only thing that we've really had like it was Contra Evolution by Konami that was released only in China, and I think Galloping Ghost Arcade has one over in Illinois. And there might be a couple of others scattered throughout Asia, but it's rare. I'm also not sure how good it was, but yeah, this definitely makes up for any lack of Contra that was found out there. And this sequence is a lot of fun too, when you jump into this bot, and it's a little bit like a metal slug here. I didn't get to the sequence where it's behind your character and it's moving around, kind of a third-person view in a tunnel. So I'm sure that's on one of the levels later. But on Mission 2, it has a kind of a hover bike that you race along on and blast enemies with, which is fun. But I'll end my commentary there and just let you enjoy the rest of this from the sounds of the tape. So, but if you do find this out there, then definitely give it a try. If you know of an arcade that would be willing to have something a little more unique than what most FECs have out there, then tell them to grab an exA-Arcadia. Games like this, or Gimmick, or whatever else fits your fancy. And I'll have more stuff on exA-Arcadia coming later this year, as they will be at Amusement Expo 2021 showing off more games and their 4-player and 2-player cabinet designs. But I'll shut up now, so thanks for watching and enjoy the boss battle.